this year. Anna has 3 laps in the high 223s. She is coming down for the checkered flag. Right now she is averaging 223.769. Here's the checkered flag. Anna Beatrice is qualified for the moment for her first 500-mile race, and the 4th lap is 223.817. Average 223.781 miles an hour. When we went to break, Paul Tracy had gone onto the track but came back in without taking a flag. Something wrong with the car, Lindy?
Paul, what happened out there?
Well, we're a little bit confused as to what happened. We're going to go back, take a look at it. It's just got, when I shifted into my top gear to start the lap, it got stuck in between 2 gears and was in neutral. So, we wanted to put a time in right away. The conditions right now are better than what it's going to be later, and just disappointed.
Thank you, Paul.
Settle in, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot of coverage for you this afternoon. We will be on until 6:30 Eastern Time tonight with all the runs for Pole Day 2010. I'm Bob Jenkins with Robbie Buell and Jan Beekes, and before we went on the air, Robbie Buell was sitting in his chair and he says, my stomach is rumbling. And he says, I wish I were just a driver. Not to take anything away from a driver, but it's tense for everybody today, Robbie.
And it is. And what these drivers are going through, of the 17 events that we have in the IZOD IndyCar Series, this is the most intense day, right here, qualifying. You would think it'd be for payday, the Indy 500, race day. It's not race day. At race day, you have downforce in the car. You got predictability. Today, these drivers are searching for that speed that maybe they've never even been there before. So they're trying things to get that extra little bit out of the car. So that pressure, that emotion, there's nothing bigger, nothing greater. The flip side of it, once you get in and get it done, there's nothing more satisfying as well.
And Robbie, when you think about the format, think about that Brian Barnhart said that he expected you could qualify 12 cars per hour. So you do the math there. That's 3 hours of qualifying if there isn't a problem, but each car gets 3 attempts. So the potential, especially if you have cloud cover and it doesn't get hot like Paul Tracy just said, we could have non-stop qualifying from now until 4 o'clock just trying to make that top 24.
Absolutely.
Just putting that intensity and pressure back on the drivers for each one of those opportunities.
Here is the driver who has been the fastest all month, and he set that earlier today at 227.646. This is Will Power from Verizon Team Penske, who is the points leader in the IZOD IndyCar Series heading into the 500. And the first lap is 226.003, so down about 1.5 miles an hour from his best, but we are under qualifying conditions.
His time this morning was definitely with some help. He had a draft. There have been some people that have run this quickly without a tow, but this is certainly an indicator that the track conditions right now, we're going to see some big speed.
Oh, we're going to see some big speeds, but remember, the whole game here at the 500 is guys going out and getting drafts and tows. You never really know what you have until you are one car out on this racetrack by yourself. Even when there's 2 other cars on the other side of the track, from the front straight or the back straight, it's still circulating the air around this place.
And besides that, during the practice, and practice opened for the 500 a week ago today, you don't know who's working on race day setup and who's working on a qualifying setup. Now, the good lap for Will Power, lap number 1, was backed up on lap number 2 just a little bit faster at 226.081.
What you want to watch here, Bob, is if he can go yet faster slightly on lap number 3, because typically 3 and 4 are the toughest to do. The car is the best in lap 1 and 2, and if you can keep your speed up in 3 and 4, it makes a big difference on the average.
And the big reason for that, of lap 3 and 4 being the tougher ones, is when the Firestone tires are brand new, those first couple laps, there's just a little extra grip in them, and as you go through the run, you just lose a little grip, and the balance changes in the race car, and that's where it's difficult to maintain those speeds as you get towards the end of the run.
Now in the box there, you will see P1. There will be no provisional pole sitter until we get to the second segment between 4:30 and 6. So that will tell you, however, that he is the fastest among the drivers that have qualified in segment number 1. Here's the checkered flag.
He looks like he's lost just a little on lap 4.
It was 225, you're right, .861. The 4-lap average is 225.994, and he is P1 at the moment. Will Power from Toowoomba, Australia. Down to Jackaroo.
down here in the IZOD Performance Pit Center, one of the things that we've done as Alex Tagliani goes out on the racetrack is we've tried to analyze what we call non-tow laps. And only looking at the non-tow laps that were 4 consecutive, we've looked at the best times. Let's take a look at Alex Tagliani. Until today, his average was 223.658 for 4 consecutive laps. Remember, in this early practice session, he stitched together 3 consecutive laps that were over 226. Guys, watch this qualifying run. Tagliani might have found some speed.
Well, Jack Arute last night in our show yesterday afternoon predicted that this would indeed be the pole sitter for the 500. Alex Tagliani last year, well, it was a miserable year for him, at least in qualifying. He was qualified for the race and thought everything was okay, but then got bumped by John Andretti in the late going.
And he's either going to get here or not. You're not going to have time. That's it, boys.
We were 26 on the grid and we felt that we would be okay. We missed it. What can I say?
He did, however, run in the 500 last year because he replaced his teammate Bruno Junqueira in the machine. Alex Tagliani was in Methodist Hospital just 2 days before the track opened for practice this year with bronchitis, but he is 100% recuperated, and he's been very, very fast in the practice this month.
Ever since they rolled that car off the truck, they've been fast. I talked to his crew chief. He's like, you know, we really haven't made any changes to the car, anything drastic since they rolled it off. They just go out every day, do some laps, and when they roll off their second, third time back, absolutely fast.
Alex gained 22 positions on race day last year and ended up 11th, and that earned him Rookie of the Year honors here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. How's he doing, Jan?
He's got some great split times. This is the kind of start that Alex Tagliani wants. You saw a few sparks underneath the car. Those should go away when the pressures and temperatures come up. A great start. The ruler says he's P1.
Yeah, 226.640. Taking the short way around, Robbie.
Wow. And the reason he can take the short way around, and you don't see him get all the way up to the wall like we saw Foyt there, is the car's turning. The car's really turning well in the middle portion of the corner. He doesn't need to use that track. It's really driving off that right rear.
And you see Will Power's look? It's like, yeah, well, it was good while it lasted.
Yeah, really.
It's okay.
The game's begun to try and posture for being in that top 9 for the shootout for the pole later today.
Lap number 2 complete. 2 of 4 for Alex Tagliani, and lap number 2 is 226.391, just a little bit slower. This will only be his second start, of course, here in Indianapolis. Started 33rd last year and has been very, very fast this month.
This is, I think, the money. The next 2 laps, we've mentioned that a couple of times. When you start off and you have your fastest and you start to slip, that's where you really earn your money. When Jack is talking about putting that apple on the edge of that knife, the second 2 laps, trying to see, do you have to change something in the car? Do you have to change your line?
So,
keeping that up is tough.
So what you're saying, if Jack needs to be mimicking what Alex is doing right now, he's got that apple right on that knife, right as Alex going through turn 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Still just a little bit slower, but still well above 226. 226.322 was his last lap. He's averaging 226.4. This team co-owned by actor Jason Priestley.
I don't think there's any question that these kind of speeds are going to guarantee you being into that top 9. No question about it. I mean, that's...
We're starting off agreeing on that one, Robbie. That's a good start.
It sure
okay,
is.
well, we got 6.5 hours left.
Well, I still don't agree with your time of getting the top 24, but we'll pick that up later.
Checkered flag, Tagliani's 4th lap, 226.215. The average is 226.392, and he is P1 at the moment. So we have had 4 qualified: Tagliani, Will Power, A.J. Foyt the 4th, and Anna Beatrice. It's pole day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Stay with us all afternoon on Versus. 7 miles an hour. Will Power was P1 for a while. He's now P2, and he's with Robbie.
Will Power, were you pleased with that run?
No, simple answer, but yeah, I hit the downshift accidentally on the first lap, but my